Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Debbie's Designs. This is my monthly Techniques Tuesday class. And this class is for demonstration only, so you guys can just watch. And I would love it if you created some of this project and then show me what you did. I'm just going to give it a little bit more time for people to chime in. Okay, I'm going to get started. Hi, Fran. So tonight I'm doing an oldie but goodie. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Kathy. I'm going to show you guys how to do the reflection technique. As you can see, everything that is up here is reflecting down here. I know a lot of you guys are new stampers, so I thought this would be a good one to show you. So I am using the Sheltering Tree stamp set, which is an old one, and I thought maybe most of you guys would have it. Hi, Janine. Hi, Lauren. So I'm using the tree image along with the foliage, the bicycle, which comes in 2 stamp images, and then the sentiment. Now for cardstocks, I've got Old Olive, and I'm not using any new colors tonight because I had made this card a couple weeks ago before the new colors were out. Old Olive 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. Pumpkin Pie 5 1/4 by 4. Whisper White 5 by 3 3/4. And then we need a little piece for the banner, 3/4 inch by 4 1/4. And then you probably won't see this on the camera, but you need a window sheet, just a piece. I made sure that mine was large enough to fit my largest stamp image, and that's what we're going to use to do the reflection part of it. And then I have a little piece of scrap I'm going to be using for my sponging. For ink colors, I have Pumpkin Pie, Pool Party, Early Espresso, and Old Olive. Now I'm going to be using 3 of the inks for sponging. And in case you guys are very new and you haven't seen these are actually our stamping sponges, and I just cut them in 4. And then what I normally do is cut out with the punch, the Everyday Label punch, and then I score it in half and then staple it. And I use the same cardstock color that I use for ink, and I never clean these. The ink that's on here stays on. And I just use a stapler to staple that on so I know what color it is. And then another thing I do, I use the clear cases to store them all. And as you can see on this one, I have all my blue ones together. I have them all color coded, and I just keep that on my shelf. And then when I need a sponge, they're right there. All the blue ones are together, all the green ones are together, and so on. So I just thought I'd mention that in case you guys are looking for some storage options. Okay, let me get my ink pads ready. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. So a lot of you guys have probably done the reflection technique before. For those of you just coming in, this is the card we're making. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is sponge a little scenery. I'm going to add the Old Olive. And I'm just making a little bit of grass. Now, I've had people ask me before why I'm using these instead of the sponge daubers. When I do something like this that requires quite a bit of ink, I prefer to use these because I don't get that circular from the sponge daubers. This is all one continuous motion, and I actually prefer using these ones. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of dirt on the bottom here. I'm not even going to add any more ink because I think there's enough there. It's just gonna be enough to darken the bottom. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do there. Now I'm going to remove this. And the reflection is a little bit lighter, so I'm very lightly just adding the green and the brown. Okay, that's all I'm going to do there for those two colors. Now I'm going to bring in the pool party to do the sky and the water. I'm going to start in the corner. And I find that doing a circular motion works better too. It blends the color right on there. Oh, Karen, you like the older pads, the opening? I think they just take time to get used to because the other ones are so new that they're tight a little bit, but they do loosen up. Is that what you mean? The only thing is too, I have both the old and the new pads, and I have to think before I open one whether I need to slide and how many times I have to slide. Okay, that's my little scenery, pretty easy. Let me just get something here to wipe my fingers. Hi, Susan. It's hot and sunny in Florida. It's raining and cold in Maine. It was only like 50 degrees here this morning. It's been crazy. I'm jealous. Okay, now we're going to stamp the tree image. I am using my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath just to get more a better coverage with my stamp. Okay, there's my tree. Now here's the magic of the reflection technique. If you've never done this before, I'm going to stamp on the window sheet. Remember that this is very slippery, so when you stamp, go straight down and don't move. There's my tree. Now, as you'll notice on my card, I made it go at an angle. So I'm just going to position that where I want it. Right there. And then I'm just going to press down. It is going to show up lighter, and that's okay because the reflection, it'll differentiate between the reflection and the real thing. So there's my reflection. Isn't that neat? Let me wipe this. So we're reflecting the tree and the foliage and the bicycle. So we're going to do 4 different images. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the old olive for the foliage. Okay, and that's going right over the tree, the first one. Now we're going to repeat for the reflection part. Now, what you need to take notice on this is where the leaves are sitting. And I'm going to do that right there. And again, I'm just going to run my finger over everything. And there's my reflection. Isn't that neat? Now we're going to do the bicycle. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the 2 pieces. Hi, Samantha. You think that's cool? And I know you're a new stamper, so I knew you were going to like this. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the bicycle right by the tree. Okay, it looks funny because we need to add the frame part, but I'm going to do the reflection first. Okay, there's my reflection. Now the tree is at an angle, so I'm also going to add the bicycle at an angle. Okay, there's the bicycle. Now we need to do the frame. Oh, Rhonda, you've never seen this technique before? This is an oldie but goodie. Okay, now I'm going to do the frame of the bicycle. So one more image that we need to reflect. Okay, now I got to figure out that one goes this way, so I got to flip it this way, and I'm lining up. The orange actually goes to the spokes of the wheel, and that's what I'm doing of both wheels. Okay, and that's our reflection. Isn't that neat? So for those of you that have never tried this, you have to try it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, let me make some room here. All I have left to do is to stamp the sentiment, and then we'll glue everything together. The sentiment is in pumpkin pie, and it's thinking of you. And I'm just going to take my paper snips. Oh, thanks, Fran. Fran likes the way I angle the reflection. It looks more realistic, I think, than just being straight across. Now, when I'm doing my banner, I'm not using a punch to do it today. I'm just snipping straight across and then corner to center. Okay, now all we have left to do is to glue everything together. So if you guys have any pieces of window sheet, keep them even if they're small, because you can use them for this reflection technique. Lauren, have you ever had your blue shims get smelly from the mold? I had somebody else ask me that. These are not super wet. Maybe you're wetting them too much. I squeeze as much out as I can. As you can see, I'm not even wet when I have them in my hand. But mine do not smell at all. I do use them a lot though, because I actually started using them in my classes also. I actually put one at each station when the girls come over to stamp. So maybe you're not using them enough. And if you let them dry, they get really hard. Actually, let me show you. I have a couple here that are stiff. And maybe that helps too. What I do is I leave them out when they're dirty and they get dry like this. So maybe you just need to let them dry for a while. And then when I have 5 or 6 that need to be wet and rinsed out because of the ink, I rinse them all out at the same time. I let them soak in a sink of water, and then I put them back in my container. So maybe try letting them dry for a little bit. They do get really stiff, but you'll revive them once you put them back in the water. But I had somebody else ask me that the other day. Rebecca, yes, I do store them back in the tube. Once I have them all rinsed out, I put them back in. See, right now, this is usually full. So half of them are sitting over here dirty and stiff and dry. So maybe that's why mine don't get moldy. Okay, there's that. Now, where did my sentiment go? I lost my sentiment. Okay, that's weird. Well, anyway, I don't know what happened to my sentiment. I was showing you guys my towels and it disappeared on me. But anyway, it goes right here. So that's the reflection technique. I hope you guys like that. So up ahead this week, tomorrow night, is my Design with Debbie class at 8 p.m. And I did list all the supplies you guys need for class. Just check on Sunday's date. And I will also be doing a Step It Up Sunday where I'll show you how to step up 3 different cards. So I hope you guys will join me. Thanks so much for the love. And thanks for joining me tonight. Have a good night.